I went there as a journalist to redo the interview. Reaching there, it did not meet up to 10 minutes. 3 armored cars just stopped.
Since 2016, when the war for the independence of Southern Cameroon started, some journalists are quitting the profession due to a hostile and insecure media landscape in Cameroon.
So the circumstances that led to my resignation, it's because on the 3rd of September, that's 2019, a media house was attacked by the separatist fighters, and I was adopted upon. I was there for 2 days, and immediately I was released, I just took it upon myself that probably I should have a break.
A halt in her journalism career as a result of a bloody conflict in Cameroon's English-speaking regions, as she points accusing fingers at separatists for her inability to exercise as a journalist. A former correspondent of Canada International Television, who's the military, partly responsible why he has abandoned the profession.
It was a few months before my arrest. The DO for Kumbu Center called me and threatened that there was a same report I did about chief of services, like delegates who have escaped their offices to Bamenda, and offices were overgrown with grasses. The DO called me and asked why I had to do that. He threatened me and said it is an indication that I am supporting the works of Amber. Can you call that Amber reporting?
To most of these journalists that have halted the profession, both the military and separatist fighters, major actors in the armed conflicts, are to blame.
I want to say that as a journalist, I went through so many incidents that I almost lost my life. I remember a day I was going to a radio station, I was almost shot because everyone ran into the bush, and I believe that as a journalist I was free to move in the society. But unfortunately for me, when I reached around the brigade, the guys couldn't recognize me because they were new ones. And so they asked me, where are you going? Everyone has escaped the bush. Where are you going? And they even started with gunshots on air. I was lucky that after expressing myself, they charged my bag and saw some documents that were related to the radio, and that is how I was saved. I cannot count the number of times that my bag was seized. I cannot count the number of times that my colleagues were kidnapped. And those are all things that made me to be discouraged about doing journalism where I come from.
The government of Cameroon, through the Ministry of Communication, however, denies any wrongdoing by the military to frustrate the exercise of journalism profession in the course of the conflict.
I don't think the military are brutalized. If you are out to do your job, and if they say that don't do this, don't do it, respect it. When they say that this place is not for you, don't do it. Because this is not the time for journalists to take their upper hand that know they want to defend their profession. Because we are living in a crisis situation where the state is doing everything to protect its citizens.
An assertion debunked by Cameroon Association of English-speaking journalists. Its president says government is sacrificing professional journalism practice for the interest of state security.
The government is at war, authorities are at war, and they cannot be friends with journalists when you want to uncover the truth. And so there's been manhandling of journalists. The journalists who have been thrown in jail, there's a common case of Wazizi that government has struggled to justify, which we strongly believe that, and we are not convinced by what government is saying. There are other cases of Wawa Jackson. There are other cases of so many other journalists. There are still some other journalists who are in jail. We should not forget Atia and the others who were released. So there's a long list of journalists who have been victimized by state authorities because of their reporting.
The number of journalists being driven out of their homes in Cameroon is on the rise. These journalists say it's because of insecurity. They argue that this is not only affecting them and their families, but equally, people living in remote communities, most especially the northwest and southwest of Cameroon, as they are deprived of information, as most media organs are shutting down because of insecurity. Surviving after quitting the profession, an equally area of residence, has been a major challenge for these journalists.
In order to survive, after I paused the journalism work, for now, I had to go to the bush, go to the farm. There's a farm here in the central region of Cameroon where you have Susuka. I had to go there to rent a farm. A farming, it's completely a farming area, to rent and try to do farm work, to have food to feed my family, because there was nobody to do anything. So when I left the farming area, he had to call me. I came over here. He just placed me as a manager of his bakery. I say I don't have any idea about the bakery. Just allow me to be doing any temporary work. He said no. But to be sincere, we are surviving. Because the family should have what to eat. If you have bread to drink, tea, bread and spaghetti every day, we are okay.
So now I'm a secretary somewhere, working somewhere and trying to meet up with ends meet. So for pastries, I can do things like cakes, pies, different varieties of cakes that you might want. Why not even wedding cakes? I do that for now. And also when it comes to detergents, because I can do things like Omo, and you need that. Everybody needs that. I can add things like air freshener, perfume. When you're going to work, you need that. I do things like liquid soap, all these are very vinegar, and lots of other things that I've learned.
When we talk of definite articles, we are talking of death. Have you heard? Yeah. And when you talk of... When I came here to Douala, I engaged myself in teaching, though in a primary school, which I've never done before. It is what is actually putting food on my table right now.
With no empowerment strategy put in place by the government for journalists in such situations, trade unions and association of journalists in Cameroon remain helpless when some of their members are paying the heavy price for professional practice.
Our colleagues are sandwiched between two warring parties and who are not in any way, to say the least, nice to journalists, and they see journalists as a threat. So we're trying to orientate them that there are also opportunities beyond what they were doing, that they can also see it as an opportunity to be able to do journalism in a different way.
Insecurity has forced these journalists to put a halt in the profession. But despite this, the seniors hope to return to their newsrooms when the storm is over.
I want the world to come to an end. In fact, if it can come to an end right now, I'll be very, very happy for me to go back to work and work freely. From childhood, it has always been my dream to become a big journalist in future. So it's just because of the circumstances at hand that I have to just drop for now. Yeah, but I really miss my profession.
I miss journalism profession. That's why you see me so on daily basis. I come here with my laptop. I come here, I either write a report. If the war ends now, I'm going back to start writing my report. I'm going back to start counting the number of remaining houses that have been burnt and the number of houses that are left.
I think I have a lot of passion for journalism, and it is what I will never allow till I die. As of now, as I talk to you, I still remain a journalist, though not linked to any media. I still inform people through my Facebook page. I still gather news and give to journalists around me. I believe that I have a lot of passion for it. And if the work gets to an end, if everything is fine, why not? I think I'll go back and do the work joyfully.
Going by 2020 Freedom of the Press Index, made public by Reporters Without Borders, Cameroon regresses to 135th position out of 180 countries. An indication of a suffocating media landscape for journalists, with the government and non-state fighters often accused.